Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, November 6, 2023. Precipitation is shown here for the past 7 days in inches on the left and the past 30 days on the right. We have had some recent precip in Idaho and western Wyoming, but it's been pretty dry across the south over the past week. In the past 30 days hasn't looked much better for the southern portions of the area, much below normal precip for Utah and Nevada. If we take a look at the snowfall for the past 72 hours, here we see that there has been some snow in the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming. The legend here is kind of difficult to read, but the lighter shades of blue are 2 to 3 inches, and then 8 or 9 inches up in the light oranges. Current snow depth is shown here. Pretty light values, or fair values anyway, for heading into the 1st of November, at least across the north, Idaho and western Wyoming. Those values are anywhere between, say, 4 to 12 inches, maybe a little bit higher in western Wyoming. The Utah snowpack has really melted off for the most part in the last week or so. This morning's satellite imagery is showing a low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest today. That's going to be dragging a cold front through the Great Basin today into tomorrow, bringing some precipitation, or continuing to bring precipitation to the northern portions of the Great Basin, even into central Great Basin here we'll take a look at in a few minutes. But wind, cloud cover in place across the area today. So a closer look here by this afternoon, we can see some cooler, moister air moving into the northern half of the basin. Ventilation rates are really high as this low moves in. Transport winds on the left here showing very high values across the entire Great Basin today, very windy ahead of this low, and mixing heights are also really high. On Tuesday, the low continues to swing through the Great Basin, bringing cooler air throughout the area, and we'll see some continuing showers across the northern half. Of course, snow at the higher elevations with this low pressure system, and ventilation rates remain high. Still fairly windy on Tuesday across the north, Idaho, western Wyoming, and then further south over southeast Utah ahead of that cold front there. And mixing heights remain pretty high across much of the area. On Wednesday, the low is exiting the area. We'll see ventilation rates remaining high across the eastern half of the area, but some lower values beginning to move into the west as high pressure builds in. On Wednesday, the transport winds become pretty light across the north and west, but we'll still see some gusty winds in southern Nevada. And mixing heights remaining high across the south and east, but again decreasing across the north and west with some ridging moving in. The forecasted clearing index for Utah for the next couple of days shows some pretty high values across the area as that low pressure system moves through the area through midweek. Precipitation for the next 3 days is shown here. Again, this low is bringing precip to the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, mountains of northern Utah, and then we'll see some more isolated showers throughout the northern half of Nevada and even into southern and southwest Utah. Of course, high elevation snow is expected with this storm. On Thursday, general ridging remains in the forecast with light winds across the area and mild temperatures or seasonal temperatures. Definitely cooler than today's highs. More of the same on Friday. There is a low pressure trough that skirts along the Canadian border here on Friday. Won't do too much for us other than maybe bring some cloud cover across the north, but winds at the surface still remain fairly light on Friday. And then same story on Saturday, light winds at the surface, some just mild ridging across the area. And then that continues into Sunday. So light winds, mild ridging, area-wide, some sunny skies out there. The precip accumulations for days 4 and 5 is shown here. This is Friday through Saturday. Really not looking for any precip across the area, especially across the south. Maybe we'll see some in the central Idaho mountains with that wave moving across the northern border there. And the extended forecast for November 13th through the 19th puts us in near normal temperatures across the west coast, maybe a little bit warmer on the east side. And then we're looking at above normal chances for precip across the southern half of the area. Well, really the entire area, but a better chance across the south. And that concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Wednesday for the latest updates.